In our contemporary society, there is a prevailing belief that striving to please others is synonymous with kindness and compassion. However, we must question whether this alignment is truly beneficial or simply a deceptive path that leads us to forsake our core values and individual identity. Have you ever felt drained from the relentless pursuit of approval from those around you? Reflect on whether the happiness of others has become the measure by which you assess your own worth. Do you long to reclaim your sense of freedom, assurance, and decisiveness, free from the worry of others' opinions? In a world filled with complexities, the constant drive to please can strip away your true self and damage your self-esteem. The Bible offers rich teachings that resonate with this struggle. For instance, Galatians 1:10 states, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." This verse calls us to prioritize divine approval over earthly validation. C.S. Lewis also imparted profound wisdom on this subject. He suggested that authentic happiness stems from living in alignment with our own principles rather than surrendering to the expectations of others. Lewis emphasized the importance of self-discovery and the courage to forge our identity based on our faith, rather than societal pressures. Let us embark on a journey together, exploring 10 biblical principles that encourage us to break the cycle of people-pleasing, allowing us to lead lives filled with autonomy, confidence, and meaning. Are you prepared to transform your life and embrace your true values rather than yield to the desires of others? If so, this message is for you. Once you recognize the need for change, boldly affirm your readiness to grow, and let's delve into the profound truths that can help liberate you from the need to please. To start our exploration, we must first identify the root cause of this behavior. Understanding the underpinning factors that drive you to please others is imperative for meaningful change. Take a moment to reflect deeply within yourself. What compels you to prioritize others' feelings? Is it the fear of rejection, a thirst for acceptance, or perhaps anxiety about criticism? Ponder the questions. Why do I feel the need to cater to others at the expense of my own voice? Why do I experience discomfort when expressing my true thoughts and feelings? Unraveling these complexities may not be straightforward, and it may take time to uncover the underlying motivations. Perhaps previous experiences have ingrained in you a belief that acceptance from others is critical to your safety and self-worth. Maybe you were nurtured in an environment where pleasing others defined kindness, leading to a cycle that is hard to escape. By acknowledging and confronting these foundational issues, we can find the freedom to live authentically, grounded in the truth of God's Word, rather than the whims of others. At times, individuals go to great lengths to satisfy others because they fail to recognize their own needs and desires, lacking in self-respect. This quest for approval often stems from a desire for external validation, leading them to believe that by serving others, they will garner admiration and acceptance. However, it is essential to delve into the root causes of this behavior to foster real change in our lives. The Bible teaches us, "For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ." Galatians 1:10 ESV. Gaining insight into our underlying motivations not only enhances our self-awareness, but also grants us greater control over our emotions and reactions. When we understand that the fear of rejection is often a construct of our own minds, we can view it in a new light and prevent it from dictating our actions. C.S. Lewis, in his reflections, echoed this sentiment, suggesting that true freedom comes when we place our identity in Christ rather than in the fleeting opinions of others. Recognizing the heart of the issue offers a powerful foundation to cease the habit of pleasing others. It invites us into a life of authenticity and personal significance, grounded in our values. We are called to confront our inner apprehensions with courage and to adopt a perspective rooted in steadfastness and self-respect. Next, it's crucial to establish clear boundaries. Defining personal boundaries is essential to reducing the tendency to appease others. These boundaries serve not only to protect our personal space and time, but also to reinforce our values and principles. In his work, The Abolition of Man, C.S. Lewis points out that we must recognize the importance of standing firm in our convictions. Many individuals overlook their own needs and values for the sake of pleasing others, a practice that can severely undermine self-esteem and create a sense of aimlessness and exhaustion. By articulating clear boundaries, we affirm our rights and clearly delineate what is acceptable. Remember, you have dominion over your time and space. No one has the authority to compel you to act against your convictions. Reflect on the last time you said no to a request that contradicted your principles. If it's been infrequent, it may be time to reevaluate how you are defining your boundaries. Setting these boundaries doesn't imply selfishness or insensitivity. On the contrary, it is an essential act of self-respect and love. The challenge remains: how can we establish boundaries without damaging our relationships with others? While it may be difficult, this pursuit is a noble and necessary one. Navigating boundaries is essential in our lives, and the Bible offers profound wisdom on this matter. In Proverbs 25 verse 17 it states, "Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, lest they grow weary of you and hate you." This verse highlights the importance of establishing boundaries in our relationships, allowing us to foster respect and understanding with one another. Consider a scenario where a coworker approaches you for assistance. If you're constantly available to help, you may find yourself overwhelmed, leaving little time for your own responsibilities and aspirations. Instead, you might say, "I would be glad to assist, but I have prior commitments right now. Could we revisit this after work?" This approach honors your boundaries while maintaining the dignity of the other person. Remember, boundaries are not barriers that isolate us. They serve as bridges that promote connection through mutual respect. C.S. Lewis emphasized the concept of self-love as a form of honoring one's own dignity and the image of God within oneself. He believed that setting limits is an essential act of self-respect, allowing us to live in alignment with our values and principles, ultimately leading to genuine peace and happiness. It's also crucial to prioritize one's own needs. In a world filled with obligations and expectations, the act of prioritizing yourself can sometimes feel selfish. However, as Lewis articulated, nurturing one's spirit is not an act of arrogance, but a necessary responsibility. Just like on an airplane where you must secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others, in life, we must attend to our well-being to be effective helpers. Reflect on this. When you consistently put the needs of others before your own, whose life are you truly living? Happiness often eludes those who neglect their own desires in the pursuit of pleasing everyone else. Ensuring that your needs are met is vital for taking control of your life, recognizing your goals, and setting healthy limitations. This does not equate to indifference toward others. Rather, it is about equipping yourself to be a more effective support for those around you. In light of this, take a moment to ask yourself, what truths truly matter to me? Prioritizing your needs is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-care that ultimately positions you to share positivity and strength with the world. In our journey of faith, understanding what truly fills us with joy and satisfaction is vital. As you ponder this question, you'll begin to uncover the path laid out for you by God. Prioritizing your own spiritual needs is intricately linked to recognizing your core values. Let's delve into the fifth lesson: understanding your values. Identifying your values is a profound spiritual endeavor that liberates you from the burdens of worldly expectations. It involves a deep reflection on the principles, beliefs, and ambitions that resonate most with your faith. When you align your life with your identified values, you won't be swayed by societal pressures. Instead, you can navigate your life with clear guidance rooted in the truths you uphold. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 4:23, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." This emphasizes the importance of knowing and protecting your values. When your heart is anchored in God's truth, it empowers you to resist the allure of pleasing others. As you identify what truly matters to you in your spiritual practice, you'll discover clarity in rejecting requests that do not align with your faith, allowing you to stand firm without guilt. Declining such requests is not an act of disrespect. Rather, it showcases your self-respect and commitment to your beliefs. Reflect for a moment on a time when you felt compelled to conform to someone else's desires, despite it clashing with your principles. Consider the unease and lack of control that accompanied that pressure. It's easy to see how this can undermine your self-esteem. In contrast, living according to your values strengthens your confidence and sense of identity. To clarify your values and priorities in life, let the teachings of C.S. Lewis guide you. He emphasizes that true fulfillment comes not from chasing after fleeting approvals, but from a deep-seated relationship with God and a commitment to His truth. Recognize that neglecting your spiritual needs to appease others hinders your authentic walk with Christ. If you wander aimlessly, attempting to please everyone, you risk losing sight of your true self. Embrace the journey of discovering and embodying your values. It's not often simple, but it requires persistence and self-awareness. As Lewis wisely noted, it is important to know where we are headed in our spiritual journey, for without clarity, we lack direction. Finally, be diligent in assessing the requests placed before you. In our eagerness to serve others, we can find ourselves saying yes too easily. Let your responses be informed by your values and your commitment to living a life that honors God. Each decision becomes an opportunity to grow and align more closely with His will for your life. When friends reach out for assistance, it's essential to assess the request thoughtfully, reflecting on the biblical principle found in Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This guidance encourages us to consider each request carefully, ensuring we stay aligned with our values and manage our time wisely. As you contemplate a favor, pause to evaluate the situation. Is the person seeking your help someone who consistently relies on your generosity while neglecting to offer support in return? They may recognize your kind nature, soliciting your aid even for tasks they could tackle alone, knowing you're unlikely to decline. By taking the time to evaluate these requests, you can maintain control over your life and spare yourself from external pressures. When faced with a call for help, ask yourself, is this truly aligned with my goals and values? If the answer is no, it's perfectly acceptable to kindly decline. This practice not only reinforces your personal principles, but also empowers you to manage your time and energy more effectively. For instance, if a close friend asks for assistance on a personal project, consider your availability and whether this request affects your own objectives. Can they complete the task independently? Should you choose to decline, remember that doing so doesn't diminish your relationship. In fact, it illustrates a deep respect for both yourself and your friend. Now, as we progress on this journey of understanding, let us reflect on the teachings of C.S. Lewis. He once conveyed that conflict is not merely an obstacle, but rather an opportunity for growth and understanding. It's important to recognize that disagreements in life are inevitable, and rather than viewing them as failures, we should see them as chances to affirm our beliefs and values. As we continue to explore these profound insights, I encourage you to share this message and engage with others, helping to illuminate the path of biblical wisdom and the teachings of C.S. Lewis. Leave a comment with the words, "I am ready to live for truth," to express your commitment to nurture your spirit and fully embrace this enlightening journey. Embracing the teachings of the Bible, we learn that conflict is not something to be feared, but rather an essential part of human existence. The way we respond to challenges defines our character. As we are reminded in James 1:2-4, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Instead of shying away from disagreements, we should approach them with serenity and discernment, recognizing them as opportunities to grow. Often, our inclination to please others stems from a fear of unpleasant emotions that may arise in our interactions. We worry that by expressing a firm no, we risk rejection or judgment. However, embracing a healthy perspective on conflict allows us to evaluate our connections. If a relationship demands that we compromise our beliefs, values, or personal well-being, it may be time to reconsider its significance. C.S. Lewis, in his profound reflections, emphasizes the necessity of maintaining our integrity. He posits that one must never forsake true principles simply for the sake of comfort. When we learn to genuinely confront conflict without fear, we liberate ourselves from the need for constant approval. Conflict is not an inherent failure. Rather, it's an avenue for expressing our beliefs and fostering deeper relationships. Have you ever found yourself declining a request because it didn't align with your ambitions or depleting your energy? Did you experience tension as a result? Consider sharing your experiences and insights. Learning to say no. Picture a day overwhelmed with demands from coworkers, family, and friends. Do you feel stretched and drained by others' expectations? If you concede to every request purely to maintain harmony, you may find yourself on the path to burnout, losing your authentic self in the process. The biblical wisdom urges us to establish clear boundaries, rediscover our worth, and prioritize our personal needs. These principles form the cornerstone of a healthy framework that empowers us to assertively decline requests that compromise our values and limited resources. Saying no is an act of self-respect. It guards your spirit and principles from unnecessary burdens. Ask yourself, is this something I genuinely want to do? Does this align with my goals and values? Pondering these questions equips you to make sound decisions and evade the trap of people-pleasing. By learning to decline with grace, you contribute not only to your own well-being, but also to fostering authentic relationships grounded in mutual respect. Consider the last time you felt regret for agreeing to something against your desires. That unease often arises from relinquishing control in an effort to appease others. The Bible frequently emphasizes the importance of aligning our choices with our values, as seen in Proverbs 29, verse 25, which teaches, "The fear of man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord shall be safe." Saying no not only safeguards your principles, but also allows you to cultivate a life that truly reflects your desires. C.S. Lewis, famed author and Christian apologist, beautifully articulates this philosophy. He suggests that authentic happiness stems from the alignment of our decisions with our core beliefs. When you learn to decline requests that do not serve your values and aspirations, you discover a sense of strength and confidence. It's essential not just to say no when it's warranted, but to do so without resorting to excuses. Lewis might remind us in his wise reflections to be clear and truthful. One of the key Stoic lessons echoes through his thoughts: avoid making justifications. In saying, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it," this philosophy beckons us to meet ourselves and others with honesty. Picture a scenario in which a friend seeks your assistance. You might feel pressured to fabricate a busy schedule or evoke an urgent matter to decline their request. However, if you choose honesty and reveal that you must prioritize your well-being or have other commitments, you embrace authenticity. This honesty fosters relief and respects both your needs and theirs. Remember that making excuses can provide an opening for others to question your reasoning. This can lead to uncomfortable negotiations around your boundaries. By simply and sincerely declining, you cultivate an atmosphere of genuine communication, promoting trust and respect in your relationships. Reflect on this. Do you aspire to live a life grounded in honesty, where your decisions and actions arise from your true self and values? Or will you continue to dwell in a facade? Embrace the calling to say no when necessary and watch how it enriches your life and bolsters your integrity. Justification, embracing the teachings of the Bible and C.S. Lewis. 9. Recognize that you cannot please everyone. Acknowledging that you cannot satisfy everyone's expectations is a vital step toward embracing a life of authenticity. This principle echoes throughout Scripture, reminding us of our limitations. In Galatians 1:10, it states, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." The message is clear. Our focus should be on serving God rather than seeking the elusive approval of others. Imagine a life where you perpetually try to meet everyone's desires. It's akin to walking a tightrope, fraught with tension and anxiety. The truth is, it's impossible to satisfy every person around you. Yet many persist in this struggle due to fear of rejection, judgment, and the deep longing for acceptance. We must remember that true acceptance comes from within. The opinions of others do not define our worth. Our reactions and attitudes do. Ask yourself, is it worth sacrificing your joy and peace of mind to appease those around you? Look to the wisdom of C.S. Lewis, who emphasized the importance of personal integrity and authenticity. In his writings, Lewis encouraged readers to cultivate a sense of self grounded in faith rather than in societal expectations. He taught that true freedom comes from living in accordance with one's beliefs, much like Socrates, who faced death rather than conform to the will of the masses. Realizing that you cannot please everyone is not a weakness, it is a declaration of inner strength and freedom. Let go of the need for external validation and begin to attune yourself to your own inner voice. Do you resonate with this perspective? If so, share your agreement below. If not, let's engage in a dialogue about your thoughts. 10. Begin with small challenges. If the previous insights feel daunting, fear not. Start with manageable steps. Tackling small challenges builds a robust foundation for decision-making and enhances your self-control. Each time you assert yourself by saying no to a minor request, you strengthen your confidence and fortify your belief in your ability to stand firm. For instance, practice declining an invitation for dinner when it feels uncomfortable or when you simply prefer solitude. Small victories can lead to greater self-assurance and a deeper understanding of your true priorities in alignment with God's teachings. Allocating time for reflection is a small but profound action that shapes how we perceive and manage our lives. As you begin to practice saying no to minor requests, you'll discover that facing greater demands becomes less daunting, freeing you from the need to meet others' expectations. But what is the significance of these seemingly trivial challenges? Sudden changes can feel overwhelming because our behaviors often lean into familiar habits that conserve mental energy. If pleasing others has become second nature, like the daily routine of brushing your teeth, making immediate changes can be incredibly difficult. The Bible teaches us about the importance of living according to our values. As stated in Galatians 1:10, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God, or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. This verse highlights that our primary focus should not be on pleasing others, but on living in alignment with God's principles. Embracing small challenges allows us to gradually reshape our self-perception. With each success in asserting your own values, your self-esteem and self-confidence grow, empowering you to tackle more significant challenges. You'll begin to see that a truly fulfilling life does not require constant validation from others. Are you prepared to take on small challenges and prioritize your beliefs? Every small step you take is a stride toward genuine freedom and happiness. Remember, your life is defined not by the judgments of others, but by the values you uphold. Release yourself from the constraints of external expectations and embark on a journey toward authenticity, where you are the one in control of your emotions and choices. Saying no can be tough, but it is a crucial move towards safeguarding your self-worth and personal values. Reflect. Do you wish to live in a state of pressure and anxiety, or would you prefer a life filled with freedom, autonomy, and peace? Each decision presents an opportunity to affirm your values and live true to your identity. Drawing from the teachings of C.S. Lewis, we recognize that courage and authenticity lead to greater fulfillment. Lewis encouraged us to embrace our true selves and live out our convictions, often highlighting that true joy and purpose come from aligning with our higher calling. As you apply these biblical principles and the teachings of C.S. Lewis to your life, expect to experience a positive transformation. You will uncover a wellspring of inner strength, confidence in your choices, and a sense of tranquility in your decisions. Take a brave step towards personal freedom, embracing a life rooted in self-respect and love. You are worthy of this journey. Begin today and let these teachings guide you toward a fulfilling and meaningful life. Thank you for joining me on this path. Your presence here signifies your desire for change. If these insights resonate with you, consider sharing them with friends and family to help spread this message of empowerment. Let's explore how we can deepen our understanding of life through the teachings found in the Bible and the insights of C.S. Lewis. Among the many principles, which one resonates with you the most? Share your reflections in the comments. We would be eager to hear your thoughts. Remember, as it says in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. C.S. Lewis, too, emphasized the importance of aligning our lives with God's wisdom, reminding us that faith should guide our decisions and actions. If you found this discussion enlightening, please give it a like and subscribe for further insights into living a meaningful life rooted in faith. We can't wait to embark on this journey of discovery together in our next video.